Alright guys, okay, here it is, okay. Even though these sessions is quite short a little bit, okay, because of, like I said, this is going to test ground first. I want to show you guys how it works, and then I'm going to leave you guys to practice. And also, okay, one more thing there guys, okay, before I mess up directly. Anyone who actually going to what we call that update with me, okay, on our website directly, please basically introduce yourself, okay, which groups and your name, because some of you guys who doesn't actually write introduce yourself, just show your works directly, because I'm in a way to add you into a group. There's 8 groups, okay, that we have right now. So that means there's a lot of people there right here. So I'm going to add one or two from your friends as a group directly, from the groups directly, and then hopefully the rest of you guys can invite. Okay, I'm going to create you one or two of you will become an admin directly. So you're going to invite your friends. So easy for me to see, okay, which group which student basically have share basically the works, okay, and I'm going to say I'm very grateful because of your commitment for these 2 days. Even though I actually have my hands almost full with some of the paperwork and also some administrations cannot work for these 2 days, right? But it's finished already. Hopefully, they're right. Okay, there is no kind of delay or any uh, things going to be what we call that going to chase basically on my time over there. But I try the best that I can basically to serve you guys. Okay, so now one of the most important things that we want to develop as a discipline, okay, discipline there, okay. Discipline doesn't mean that what we call you have to be punctual, sir, okay, all the time, but how actually you're going to improve the way that you are going to start your drawing skills then. Learn your drawing skills, okay. I'm going to show you guys a few number kind of methods there to draw, okay. And I already show also on the videos previously on our demonstrations uh, some of the mistakes that people always do, all right, when they draw. All right, one of the things that I want you guys to practice there, okay? Everyone has sketchbooks, right? If you don't have any sketchbook for my classes, I would recommend you guys to buy, to get one of the sketchbook like this. But for some of the what we call the stationery kind of shops that are nearby your house, if they're open, right? They have the around below 10 ringgit or 10 ringgit kind of sketchbooks, which is doesn't use this kind of paper. This is quite expensive kind of papers there, okay? They use an A4 papers only. But if you can compile your A4 papers, bind together and become a sketchbooks, it's more better there, okay? Because it's quite cheap. Okay, you don't spend too much for my classes, for traditional kind of exercise. Don't spend too much money on the expensive stuff, right? Except the laptop, the tablets, okay, and also the applications. I think around 10 ringgit only directly for the creative suits in Shopee directly, but only for the student purpose, not professional purpose. Okay, you can't actually use for the business, right? Okay, because there might going to be a licensing over there, all right? So the only thing that I find you're going to spend a bit kind of what we call that your kind of investments are going to be on your laptops or your computers and also your tablets, because this is the main thing that we need to prepare for your long-term investment, not only your short-term, okay, long-term investments there, okay. So I already mentioned to you guys that before, but for our sketchbooks I try to minimize a little bit, right, okay. So that means if you can use A4 papers, you can use A3 papers directly. If you have pile of blank papers that you guys can use to practice your drawings, and then you can shoot photos and record them, or and you send back to me there, okay? It will be more better there, okay? I'm going to provide also some guideline there, okay? Later on, okay? Maybe within this week also, okay? How are you going to prepare yourself, okay, on the video version if you want to show how actually you move your what we call it hands while you draw there, okay? One of my recommendations, right, okay, we have basically a video kind of uh, recording in our website there, right? You guys can shoot those videos while you draw, okay, especially using those sketchbook and pencil or pen, right, okay? Because that's how actually we can see how actually you handle your tools. Understand that, right, guys? Okay, you record your videos, okay, while you draw. Okay, you record your videos while you draw there, okay? So that's basically one of the best way basically we can actually see how actually you're going to work on that open queue.
Sir,
Yes?
can you read the what do you call it, the A4, the paper mic, because you're having two mics on, so it's like creating an echo sound.
Oh, close one mic there, right?
Wrong one, sir, wrong one.
Which one basically?
The one showing your drawing pad, your sketchbook.
This one. I'm actually close the mic there, right here. Okay, now, is it clear?
Yeah, better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you there, okay? Alright, thank you very much, Nathaniel there. Okay. So now you can hear my voice, right?
Yes.
Alright, good. Thank you there, guys. Okay, now. Okay, the things basically that we want to improve here, there, okay? You guys just saw just now, even though the screen is not yet quite clear there, right? Okay, but this kind of exercise, I'm going to do some pre-recordings, okay? And I need to make sure that you guys can change the way you draw, okay? Change the way you draw, okay? Those are the things that really important right here. Okay, within these 2 weeks of times, if you cannot actually change the way you draw, and then you're going to carry forward basically your routine when you come to use those tablets. That's basically one of the critical part that we're going to have. Not all of you guys, but most of you guys who actually going to start to use those tablets. All right, that's why one of the things that you have to remember before you're going to start with those digital. A lot of people say, okay, using digital is quite easy. Yes, they're going to be give a lot of easy for your way of working with your design later on, okay? But without a strong foundations, you won't be able, all right? You won't be able to change. You won't be able to improve there, okay? And develop that kind of routine. Suddenly my kind of is stopped, right? Okay, hold on guys, okay? I will double check back again here. Try to join back again. Okay, here it is. Alright. Yeah. Sometimes quite clear, right? Okay guys, okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the quality become better there, right? Okay, but a little bit delay there, right? Huh? Okay, I'm going to work on that. So that means I'm going to off my cameras over here. You can see this kind of little guy over there. All right. Okay, let's take a look over here there, right? Okay, this is one of my drawings. I'm using those pen there, okay, to draw. Okay, one of the tricks that we are going to work, okay, for all these 2 weeks time there, okay, by not using erasers. Okay, not using erasers basically to develop this kind of skills. All right. So I want you guys to work with this kind of exercise first. Okay, a lot of people when actually they try to draw directly, first of all, anything that you want to draw directly, you're going to start with this kind of line, right? This kind of line over here. For example, you want to draw this guy directly, these photos right here. They become blue a little bit there actually. Okay, a lot of people will start to draw like this one there. Right? You will draw like this normally then. How many people actually draw like this? Put it on the chat box. Put it on those chat box, guys, okay? How many of you guys there, right? Who always draw like that? The way you move your hands, right? Okay, the way you move your hands. Okay, the way you move your hands like this. Okay, this is the most common way people always used to draw. Okay, we call it a dirty line, right? Okay, a dirty line because there's a lot of hesitations. Okay, there's a lot of hesitation when you draw. Okay, and some people most basically students basically they when they start to draw like this, okay, they're afraid to draw the faces. They leave the faces blank. All right, this is basically most of the common kind of situations that we have among the people, among the students there. Okay, we want to avoid to use this kind of techniques. All right, this kind of techniques there, not styles of drawings but techniques. Okay, so we want to use a proper techniques when it comes to draw using those kind of pencils or pen directly first, and then later on when you use those tablets, you will get used to move in the right way, okay, to control your pressure in the right way, okay, because a lot of people when they don't actually practice their hands really well, okay, the muscle memory that we develop from this exercise, muscle memory there, okay, not your muscle memory of your hands, not your bicep, not your what we call the abs directly, but muscle memory based on your coordination between your eyes, right, and your mind, and also your hands. All right, we want to develop these 3 cycle kind of coordinations there before you can draw well. Okay, so one of the things that you have to make sure when you want to draw the right way is how to move in the right way. Okay, one of the first kind of what we call an early kind of exercise, we call it the foundation exercise, is how you hold your pencil. How you hold a pencil there. Some people hold pencil like this one, right? Like this. Some people hold like this one, right? Okay? And I using this kind of methods there, okay, this kind of way to hold my pencil even though I want to write something there, right? Okay, write something there. Okay, write something there, okay? But one of the way that you can actually use when you come to draw, not only writing but draw the writing, is like this one. See how I hold my pencils there? How I hold my pencils there, right? But these kind of methods cannot be used using pen. It's going to be possible to use pen, right? To draw like this one there, right? Okay. Have you saw some of the artists basically use this kind of methods, right? This kind of way to holding pencil when they draw? Have you seen before? Can you give some response, right? Okay, yes, right. Right, okay. Thank you guys. Yeah, this is basically one of the way, all right, to draw. But when you saw basically they draw like this one, okay, they don't actually put a lot of pressure in their hands, on their hands, okay. That's basically one of the important things. Discipline there, okay, before you're going to draw. Not like this one. Okay, not like this one there, okay. Because when you draw like this one, okay, you press a lot there, right? You press a lot like this. You're not going to get a very good kind of line there. You're not going to create a very proper kind of structures there, okay? Because when we want to draw some circles like this one, for example, even though I'm using this kind of the holding kind of writing, holding kind of hands, right? But when I draw those kind of circles, even though it's not quite clear from here there, okay, but you guys can see basically, right, okay, when I hold my hands, I kind of relax. See? I kind of relax my hands there, okay? How many circles that I want to draw? I repeat the line back again. But without having a lot of hesitations there. I didn't hesitate my kind of movements there, okay? I let it free. Okay, when I draw there, okay? I let it free there, okay, the flow itself. See? So this is one of the, this is not some wasted kind of paper exercise there, okay? This is basically one of the foundation exercise for you guys to improve the way that you draw. Control basically the precious line there, okay? Leave it over here at first. Okay, even though that I want to draw any kind of line there, okay? See? If you have a piece of papers right now, I want you guys to work on that, and then later on you can actually send over to my WhatsApp directly first before I'm going to create the group for today directly. Today I'm going to start to add those groups there. So whatever that I try to draw right now there, guys, okay, a box is here, right? I try to repeat the line. Okay, this is basically one of the way that you guys can actually write. Learn to improve your drawing skills. This is one of the methods, one of the most important methods there, I think. You go to any kind of art schools, they're going to teach the same methods there. Okay, if you go abroad, if you go overseas, also the same. Okay, they will teach you the same methods how to hold your pencil in hands, okay? And of course, make sure you sharpen your pencils all the time. Okay? Normally, I'm going to use a cutter directly to sharpen my pencils. and then start to draw back here. Okay, if you want to draw some cylinders there, right? Okay, same thing. Cylinders there. Okay, so practice this kind of hands, this kind of movements. Practice this kind of movements, right? If you hold this kind of pencil like this, okay. See the movements there. If I want to draw a bit more slower there, right? Practice your hands there correctly. See? Okay? There. Practice the right. Practice your hand, see, correctly the right to move. Even though we cannot actually use these techniques in using your tablet later on, but this is a very good exercise for your hands. Alright guys, it's a good exercise for your hands. Before you're going to draw any kind of what we call the styles that you want to draw in the future. See, a lot of paper that I use there right here, right to work side. Oh. Alright guys, so if I'm actually going to use this pen right here to draw, same thing, okay, always start with the basic structures there, right? Even though we don't actually start with this kind of advanced techniques yet, but if I want to draw, okay, one of the techniques also that I'm going to use, if I want to draw the subject matters, right, other than use sketch line techniques, okay, this is also one of the techniques that I'm going to use. Okay, when I use pen, I'm going to use this kind of what we call it continuous line drawings there. Okay, the continuous line drawings there. Okay, see how actually I draw with these techniques. This is one of the things that we call observation exercise. Okay, observation exercise there. One of the reasons I'm using pen to draw, because I want to basically to practice my confidence line. Okay, when I draw with this kind of techniques, okay, one of the important rules that I actually use is not to I'm going to spend a lot of time to look into my reference directly. Okay, this is one of the most important foundation exercise that we call continuous line drawing. Sorry, which means we cannot actually take off our pen or our drawing pen or our pencils before we complete this drawing. The line drawings are not going to be as perfect as you, what we call that, seems to see directly from the traditional drawings. And because we not actually try to achieve the perfect line, but we want to study basically the whole structure first and practice our eyes. to look at things, to look at the reference, just like we trace basically using our eyes directly when it comes to draw. This is one of the earliest kind of fundamental exercise for designers to learn how to control basically their hands and see basically how actually they can solve the problems of capturing all the details. But I'm not going to draw the whole thing directly because it's really hard for me to show using this kind of what you call that this kind of online sessions here, because normally I'm going to do this kind of exercise face to face. But this is one of the methods of drawings which is we can actually practice to develop our skills. Normally when you draw, right, you are going to take off your pen or your pencils there, right? But this is one of the techniques that we use to improve our observations. You guys cannot see the right observations. To improve our observations over here. Okay, I will put those kind of what we call that. So it's important for me to demonstrate to you guys before I'm going to provide you some of the slides kind of notes there, right? Okay, slide kind of notes there. So I'm going to provide all these kind of exercise practice for you guys to experience, okay, before you're going to do it next week, okay? So this is also one of the important exercises, okay? It's not all about how perfect these drawings are going to be, but how actually you look at things in the right way, okay? Because these methods I'm going to use when it comes to do our exercise, okay, bi-weekly, after we are going to use, when actually we're going to use the tablets also. But when you use those tablets, one of the best thing that we can actually do there right away, because we can actually have the layers below basically our what we call that applications there, right? We can use that kind of application by using layers, and then we can draw on top of the layers to understand, to study basically our subjects there, right? Okay? To draw basically our materials there. So basically, when you use computers, that's what I said, okay? They're going to be more, what we call that, efficient there. It's supposed to be making your kind of drawings look more easy than you're going to draw it in those traditional, for those who cannot draw well. For those who actually have to learn from zero foundation or basics there, right? Okay, but you need to have the right kind of pressure there, right? Okay, point on your device before you're going to control your hands there, right? Okay, so I want to show you guys using those Photoshops here. So let me show you guys how it works. I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Chisama, okay, you sounds like quite sleepy. Is it? Is it you're sleepy there?
No.
No. Okay, guys. Okay, now. Okay, you guys can see my Photoshop there, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good. So the things that I want to show you guys, okay, when I come to draw, okay, drawing here, drawing there, right? Okay, when we start to use Photoshop, one of the most important rules that you have to understand, discipline there, okay, do not draw like this. Do not draw like this. Okay, we're not going to draw like this only. Okay, this is some of the dirty lines there, okay. So what we're going to do, So I'm going to explain later on how actually we're going to use Photoshop, okay? But we're going to draw like this, see? Just like you sign in, right? Anyone can sign the name there, right? If you can sign the names, okay, when you install the device here, right, later on there, right, okay? When you can install the device, then one of the things that you can actually test first, when you use the right kind of brushes here, one of the recommended brushes that I want to share with you guys, if you use Photoshop CC, I think around 2017, 19, 18 there, right, okay? They have certain kind of brushes like wet media brushes, dry media brushes, but don't use this kind of brushes yet, okay, to draw. This one can be used, but it's not quite proper there, okay? The hard brown brushes. I'm going to provide also this kind of what we call that a bit kind of what we call that setup there, okay? Later on, but I just want to show you guys basically some provider. But normally, right now in these 2 weeks, draw using those sketchbooks there, guys, okay? So some students actually ask me there, okay? Okay, let me what we call that open up my WhatsApp there first. Before that, so don't use this kind of brushes there to draw, okay? If you want to practice your drawings, don't use this kind of brushes yet, but find some of the brushes that's similar to the pencils or traditional kind of what we call that tools, okay? It's similar to those traditional tools there, okay? So if you can sign your names like this, that means your tablets are working in the proper way, in the correct way there, okay? If you can sign your names like these, for examples, I don't know basically what I actually try to write there, okay? Maybe you guys really know there, okay? But if you can actually draw like this, all right, that means your tablets are working in the right way, okay? So let me try to open up some of the works over here, right? Hopefully I didn't actually make a fool of myself here. All right, now, okay. How about this guy? One of the reasons I use my own photos because of easy for me basically to show you guys how it works. This photo basically been taken by one of our students because they want to invite me on one of the program there, right? Where is it there? I can draw anyone else that I give, but I just want to show you guys one of the, if you use yourself as a sample there, this is quite huge scale. Don't worry guys, okay? All these computers kind of things there, okay? You will catch up a little bit more faster than me there, okay? Don't worry there. Because I have a kids there, okay? I have 5 kids and 3 of them there, okay? Basically I didn't actually expose a lot my kids with the computers yet, right? And also the what we call that the smartphone device, right? Normally I'm going to I kind of like I'm going to control basically their usage of those tools there, right? But when they start to have their own device, when I actually buy their own device, okay, all of a sudden they kind of like catch up really fast there, okay? So technologies, don't worry there, okay? You will catch up a bit more faster, okay? But the most important thing that you always worry is whether you can actually draw in the right way, or you can actually improve your kind of traditional kind of skill first, okay? week 1, this is group 2, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Group 2. So just now I'm using Photoshop, I'm using traditional to works. Okay, the observation exercise that I actually mentioned to you guys before, all right? Let's just say I'm using pen, not using this kind of pencil hardware, right? Okay, I'm using pen right here to draw. It's similar to the pen, right? Okay, one of the things that I want you guys have to be concerned, okay? Normally when people draw, they will start from this one. This is the one of the common mistakes. Okay, please don't draw like this. Okay, we are not tracing the drawing the photos here. Okay, please don't draw like this, guys. I'm begging you, not because I want to feel a bit kind of weak, but I really concerned that people always make mistakes by draw like this one there, right? This is not the proper way to learn. If you draw like this, and then when your parents saw the okay, your drawings like this, they're right. If your parents cannot draw, they will say, hey, this is how you draw, is it? This is what you learn now. Why you actually draw, your drawings quite ugly here, right? Okay? Don't draw like this, guys. See? A lot of people draw like this one. Suddenly become cartoons, not become a proper kind of drawings there. Okay, this is basically one of the common mistake that people always do. They show basically they doesn't know what to do there. Okay, they doesn't know what is going on here. They just draw them right. Okay, they just trace those drawing here. This is not basically a type of drawings that we look into here. Right? If you want to practice your hands to draw in the right way by using the tablets, either you can start with the observations kind of drawings that we call contour, line, drawing. Okay, this kind of drawing you can use traditional and also digital methods there to practice the right. Most people who don't basically follow my kind of what we call that guideline, they turn out say they cannot draw, they cannot understand. Why? Because you don't set your mind, you don't change your mind to develop that kind of new routine. All right, new routine there. You have to change that. Okay, it's kind of like you have a supplement or you have to eat every day there, right? If you don't eat every day, what happens to you? Okay, for Muslim, we can fasting, even though we fasting there, right? Okay, puasa there, right? But we still need to eat in the early morning. There's no such thing that you cannot eat in the early morning there, okay? Some people who try to fasting more than around 30 days without having a morning kind of what we call that sahur there, right? Okay, or we call sahur there, okay, early morning breakfast there, okay, they will find that there is no energy from that, and our religion also forbidden us to do that because it's not good for your health. Same goes to drawings, right? Okay? If you're not actually use the right kind of routine, you're not going to, you don't force yourself to change in the right way, not to force you to change in the wrong way. I'm not actually teach you guys to be negative there, okay, but positive way there, right? You won't be able to improve or define the lesson really well. Okay, this is the thing that I want to say, I want to show you guys, okay, how actually I draw just now using those ball pen, but right now I'm using okay, a reference on top of the layers here. See, we have two different layers there. Okay, this is my layers there. Okay, Photoshop has two layers there, right? One layer is basically for photos, and another layers for my drawings here. Okay, this is something that I want to show you guys. See how I actually control my hands when I move this drawing here. We are not actually tracing them only there, right, guys, but we try to understand about how basically the form and shapes of this reference, how actually we're going to draw the hair later on there, okay? But we're using a very slow motions kind of styles of drawing first. Okay, the words for the layman is slow motions there. We draw slowly there, okay? But we are not actually tracing the outline. We actually try to tracing the textures, the form, the shapes, the flow, all right, of the whole structures. Remember that, all right? One student actually asked me, okay, is it the textures when I draw just some of the things that I draw before the, in our demonstration before? It's not the textures at times. I draw the basic structures, but now I combining the structures and the textures at the same time, right? But when I draw them, can you see my hands over here? Even though I make some of the mistake when I move my hands there, right? But I kind of like try to capture every single details that I can. Even though the photos is not that quite clear right now, okay, I'm going to increase a little bit on the opacities there. Okay, you guys can see that what actually I try to do here. I try to study basically the whole structures. Even though I make some of the mistakes, I didn't erase them. Can you see that, guys? I didn't erase my mistakes there. A lot of people always want to erase those mistakes, right? Have you guys have done this kind of exercise before? This kind of drawing styles before? This kind of drawing methods before?
No, not yet.
Yeah?
Not yet.
Not yet, right? This is a new thing there, right? Oops.
Yes.
Sorry, right? Normally when you use Photoshop, right, they can we can actually write Control Z, right? That means we can undo, because I don't want to undo the right, because my hand basically have get used with the shortcut key here. So when I want to draw basically those beard, right, a lot of people always worried, okay, how actually I draw all these kind of difficult kind of elements over here. Just let it flow there, guys, okay? But at the same time, if you take a look at the quality of line, I'm going to explain you guys, okay, in writing here, okay? The quality of line, okay? A lot of people always say, okay, how actually I draw the nose. It's quite difficult to draw the nose there, right? But right now, by controlling basically my hands, use the flows of those textures, I can actually provide a detailed kind of line drawings. See? I kind of can provide a detailed kind of line drawings by using the shadow also to provide this kind of line and the quality of line. This is what we call the foundations drawings there, guys. Not basics, but foundations drawings. Foundation is more better than basics there, right? Okay? Basic, you draw circle, all right? Okay, you draw circles over here. This is basics, but also a part of the foundations there. You draw this kind of what we call the shapes here. Okay, they call basics kind of drawings there, right? Okay, but this is beyond basics, but it's called foundations drawings. That means you were about to strengthen basically your understanding on how to develop your skills of drawings there, okay? So can you see, okay, when I want to draw at this part, okay, at the behind of those neck, okay, I'm going to control a bit on my pressures over here. Okay, you will get used with this kind of what we call that styles of the methods of drawings when you actually get hands-on with your device there, right? Okay, and of course, with these drawings here, it will give us a bit kind of attention on, provide us some focus and attention on those kind of details. Alright, on those details there. Without worrying too much, oh, how actually I'm going to draw this one there, right? Okay? Just provide the right kind of pressure there, guys. You guys can feel the chemistry between your hands when you draw. When you saw some of the logo like this, don't draw them. If there is a photos of what we call that pictures or design there, right? Okay, don't draw them there, guys. Okay. Just let it flow there. Even though I make some of the mistakes when I draw these subject matters there, right? Yeah. See the way that I move my hands over here. Same goes that you guys can use. Same techniques that you guys can use when you draw using those pens. See? I draw the line over here, okay? On my hands. Okay, this exercise basically will provide you to study and focus on the details. Okay, I've used spacebar basically right here. I don't know where basically my keyboard, virtual keyboard there, right? Oh yes, over here. There. Space bar there, okay? When I click space bar there, okay, basically, okay, space bar is a shortcut key. Alright. See? For my one of the tools that I'm used. Okay, to change from brush tools into the move tools over here. Alright. See? When I was like your age, when I actually start to introduced by my lecturers, okay, my gurus, okay, on these drawing techniques, I never stopped practice myself. Okay, I would spend basically most of my holidays there, okay, my weekend, to practice this kind of drawings there. Because if you want to improve your drawing skills, this is one of the earliest methods that you guys can actually learn. But they're supposed to learn, you guys supposed to experience this kind of exercise face to face, because without that what we call that face to face sessions, okay, I believe that it's quite hard basically for the student to get used to it. But if you take a look here right now, the drawings here between this drawing and this one there, right? Okay, this one look more professional than this one there, right? Okay, the quality of line that I actually try to provide. Okay, let me actually follow, okay, the quality of line, okay, the thickness and the thinness of line there, okay, the quality of line, right, that we call the quality of line. Which is a part of one of the principle in design there, right? In design and illustrations will be added in your exercise. Okay, we can show basically from those quality of line, they also have a depth of fields, which is the distance there, okay, that to show the distance there, okay, between the form the structures there, right? Okay, that's why you guys can see the quality of those drawings. Like you guys can compare, okay, between this one and this one, okay. Don't start your drawings like this from now on, please guys. Okay, I want to show you guys some of the things that I find from your friends submissions, which is we can actually share and also learn from there. Okay, I kind of like felt okay, this one there, okay, this drawings over here. Okay, can you see some of the mistakes that you saw from this drawing over here? Okay, let me share first the screen, those visuals over here. But the drawing's not bad for the beginners. I also used to draw like this. Alright, we learn from here, okay? Don't be shy, guys, okay? This one from group 2 there, okay? Who is it? You don't actually introduce your names over here there, guys. Huh? This is group 2, right? Okay?
Me,
Who? Zinxiang there, okay? Okay, Zinxiang, good. Thank you there, guy. Thank you, okay? I used to draw like this in Xiang there, okay? Don't worry there. But can you actually know your mistakes when you draw? Okay, one of the things is the nose part, right? The nose part, okay? How actually you're going to draw them, right? Okay? The basic structures of nose, either you can draw, okay, from this side, they're going to be look like this there, okay? The basic structures there. The form. Every single subject matters that you're going to draw, there's a form there, right? Eyes. Okay, when they draw. Okay? They have this kind of what we call the structure there first, before you're going to add those details there. But when you draw, how you draw like this, right? Is it true there?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Right? So I can see there, I can tell you guys that whether you make a right decision or not. Okay, the lips itself there, okay, when you draw basically the mouth kind of line there first, and normally we don't actually combine the bottom line of those lips here. Okay, normally we leave a little bit here like this. Okay, the nose itself, if you want to draw, normally there, right? Okay, after you get the basic structures right, we're going to go through with this exercise later on there, guys. Okay, this is basically one of the right way to draw those nose. See the nose hole basically here, the outline itself there, right? Okay, okay, the eyes itself here, right? Okay, you see the eyes over here. If I want to check back again, okay, the eyes, proper line of the eye. We're not talking about how detailed the portrait is, right? You don't. Okay, I want to show you guys the mistakes that people always do there, okay? The eyebrows, if you want to draw the eyebrows, okay, either you can get the structures line first, or you can draw like this. See the way I fold my hands when I actually draw those eyebrows here. Can you see the quality of line? Try to analyze the quality of line there first. Don't try to be perfectionist yet. Right, perfections are going to be what we call that being developed in time there, okay? The ears, the shapes of the ears also is quite, normally from this side, as I can imagine, are going to be look like this. There. How to draw the hairline? Okay, the hairline there, okay? This is how actually you can draw the hairline there first. Not the outline only there, okay? Guys, draw the hairline there first. The shapes of the hair. If you want to draw portraits, how to draw this line over here? one stroke at a time there, right? If you seems to draw on top of the layers lah. Alright? But one of the key things that you have to remember before you're going to draw this one will always basically to draw the basic structures. Oops. Okay, draw the basic structures there first. Okay, in digital normally, okay, sometimes it's hard for me to move out my hands, like controlling the line there, okay, those lines. So basically, this is basically the structures of these faces. I think the heads and the eyes is a bit more closest to the head, okay, a bit more like this one there, okay. The nose, the lips, right, the basic structures of those ears, right, and then you start to analyze basically how big basically the head is, and also try to analyze also the shapes of the hair. Okay, so avoid actually draw people who actually you cut on the borders over here. Try to draw a full page directly of her faces there. That's why you have to find, okay, this one basically came from one cylinders over here. Alright, this one came from a bit kind of diamonds or triangle shapes. This one came from a triangle shapes. Okay, this one came from the mountain diamond kind of shapes here when you draw those lips. Alright, the eyes are going to be half of it, not the full circles. So try to analyze basically the shapes of the faces there first from your subject matters. This one directly you draw like this one directly. Draw the whole structures there first there, guys, before you're going to add those details. This is basically what you should do when you draw. Analyze first those basic structures here before you're going to draw some details. This is also another techniques that we are going to practice along the way. But if you want to practice your hands to control your line, this is one of the best techniques in the world. Alright, not the only techniques there. If you really want to improve your hands to move in the right way when you want to draw. Okay, when you want to draw. So far, any questions? Yes?
Pictures or logos do you you're not going to draw them right, but is it because like computer things or is it because too difficult for blind people?
Which is what, Nathaniel? Sorry, can you repeat the questions?
No, just now you said because of you're not going to draw logos, pictures or shit.
Oh, because copyright claim. No.
Is it because of copyright or too difficult?
Because it's not that important for you to study first. Okay? Okay, let's just say I have some of the, what we call that. Okay, let me see right here whether we have the let's just say Korean celebrities. Not because I like it, right? Most people like it, okay? Most teenagers like it, right? Okay, if you saw some of the photos, okay, some of the reference that you saw right here, there's a lot of what we call the details, like patterns, okay? You have to know your main objective there first. What you should study when you draw. It's not all about how good basically you can get as perfect as you want, okay? Because the perfections will came over to your studies, okay, to your developments when you start to improve basically your skills of drawings. Okay, a lot of people make mistake. For example, let's just say this one, okay, there's a lot of accessories there, right? I will not draw this person, okay, to basically to spend more times on what we call that practice my drawings there. Okay, let's just say, okay, I just take this one there first. Okay, now, all right, I have these photos over here. Okay, normally when we have the photos, right, okay, because we're using the full pages, please draw bigger there, right? Okay, don't draw small there, right? So what I can do right here, okay, my purpose of study these photos is to understand about the structures of the subject matters, not to draw all these kind of tiny details there, right? Okay? It will waste a lot of time basically. But if you want to draw them, go ahead, but I'm not actually recommending you guys, okay? Even though these patterns there, right? Okay? This will not basically give any kind of benefit for new students to study your drawings. What are the things that you have to study basically, right? Okay? You want to study figure drawing there, right? You want to study human structures there. What you should do there, okay? Draw the human structures there first. Okay, study the whole structures here first there, right? For example, like this one there, right? When I draw, see, I'm studying actually how to draw those hair. Okay, I try to solve problem with my hands when I draw first. Okay, how actually I draw the hairline there, okay? Because later on, if I want to imagine to draw those hair, or if I want to design my own characters there, okay, I already know how to use this, what we call that my kind of understanding, not only to use the same techniques, but my understanding later on to draw there, okay, any characters that based on this kind of styles of hair. If I want to draw these earrings, because it's a small kind of amount of those efforts, go ahead. And a lot of people try to avoid to draw those eyes because they don't know how to draw them. But this is one of the exercise while basically you draw the right, while actually you draw the right, you basically not just drawing the right, the nose itself. People will draw like this one, right? But this is not the correct way, right? What I do basically when I draw those nose, there. You guys can see the quality of line that I provide and how actually I start the drawing is where actually right. See? But don't be afraid to move and make some of the mistakes. Okay, this line basically is not a mistake, but is by design there, okay? Because I want to provide a shadow line there, okay? A shadows line there. Right? So a lot of artists or designers, okay, they need to learn all these techniques first before you're going to say, oh, I want to design my styles, okay? I would say at the moment, don't actually limit yourself into styles. Learn the method there first. A lot of people always thought, oh, I have this kind of style. The styles, my styles or is different than the sir styles there, okay? Guys, this is not my styles of drawings. You guys have seen actually how actually I draw my own styles of drawing there. There's a lot of styles that actually have been developed, okay, for so many years there. But this is basically a method of drawing in the right way first. Can you see how perfect this line drawings, the whole proportions that I actually try to use, even though I'm using digital, okay, because that's why digital make your drawings look more better than the traditionals there. It's supposed to help you to become more better, not become more worse. I can show you guys maybe in a lecture class later on some of the students who doesn't follow basically my kind of what we call that training methods there, okay? they thought that they can do it well, or they kind of doesn't want to open up their mind there to change. Okay, so the methods of this exercise is not how detailed that you can actually draw as close as the photos there, but you can actually capture the right way to handling the tool first. How to coordinate between your, okay, these three things there, okay? Remember this until the end of your courses there, okay? Eyes coordinate with your mind, all right? And your hands or your arms will follow through all these two things there, right? All these two what we call that component there, right? Okay? We call coordinations there, right? Coordinate, okay, double O or one O there, okay? I can't remember that, right? So we provide this thing there, coordinations there. Coordination between 1, 2, and 3. This is basically make people can draw well, not because of skills only, not because of the talents there, okay? Practice these kind of coordinations. All right, understand, guys? Do you have any questions here? Even though it's quite new for you guys, that's why you were here. Even though you can get on the textbooks, but I don't think this kind of demonstrations, this kind of explanations you can get in YouTube there, guys. But I have one or two YouTube what we call that videos, which is been what we call that been provided by some of the artists, okay, that I actually can recommend you guys, who actually explain the same thing as what I actually explained to you guys this morning. Okay, because this is one of the great exercise that people always do to develop their skills in the foundations, what we call that levels there. Okay, we called it observations, drawing techniques. Hopefully here there, right? So nowadays there's a lot of people actually start to give what we call that this kind of same foundations back again. Okay, but my kind of what we call that methods is almost the same, and I try to improvise based on the experience that I have with the students there. Okay, with the student itself, right? So one of the things that we call is contour line and line drawing techniques there, right? Okay, contour line drawing techniques there. So this is basically one of the videos that I always show the students, okay, from not only from my kind of perspective, but from other people's around the world. It's almost 12 years ago there, guys, okay? So this is also one of the good exercise. Okay? Every single people who actually learn, okay, the art basics there, okay, they actually provide the same materials there, the same methods that guys to work. So I'm not actually BS for you guys, okay? I'm not actually telling you guys some things that not from what we call that from the textbooks there, okay? Because I provide this kind of things not only from textbooks but from the experience there. What I actually have experienced when I've learned before, I give you guys all this knowledge back again. Okay, because if you don't actually provide the right kind of methods there, all right, okay, you won't be able to improve your illustration skill, okay, until you graduate. Trust me on that. Okay, a lot of students who actually, I would say they kind of like don't want to follow basically the right methods there, okay? Especially for those who actually have zero knowledge directly, who came here basically from very kind of what we call that naive kind of what we call that experience there, our mindset that we have directly, that I want to learn drawing from basics directly, this is basically the right time for you to change. Okay, but you have to do a lot of exercise from there. Okay, from now on, okay, after basically our week 1, I don't want basically to number basically how many exercise that you should provide. Okay, because normally when I actually write, put it into the numbers. Okay, this week 5 drawing, this week 10 drawings, right? Okay, a lot of students basically doesn't follow the writing. They can sometimes they draw only 1, sometimes they only draw 2, maybe basically, right? Okay, it's kind of like feel a bit kind of not frustrated, but it's not enough already for you guys to what we call that measure basically your drawing skills from amount already. Sometimes we thought, okay, 5 drawings you can become, you will understand about what you're going to do with your what we call that skill that you have developed those understanding there, right? Okay, but it's not going to do that. It's not going to be that way there, guys. I have a number of sketchbooks, right? I saw you. I show you guys this, before the idea, but this is not the only sketchbook that I have. Okay, this is basically one of my earliest sketchbooks. Okay, my earliest sketchbooks there. Right? I have a pile of sketchbooks that I actually collect for so many years before I can do it well, before I can actually teach people how to draw, before I can become professional as a profession as illustrators, right? So if you thought that, okay, 5 drawings enough or 10 drawing enough for a week, you should actually evaluate back again your achievements. All right, your kind of needs there, right? Okay, because you guys basically are teenagers there, okay, and adults, teenagers there, right? Okay, that means you can think on yourself what is worth for you to improve there. I provide you guys a techniques. All right, I will pre-record, I will record, I will do some online, I will do live sessions with you guys like this one there, okay? But if you don't practice yourself, okay, if you don't actually improve yourself from time to time, if you don't actually enjoy the process there, right? Okay, I cannot change you guys there. I cannot actually change you guys there, right? Okay, you have to be more concerned about, hey, I want to follow back again what actually I've been learned, and I want to improve. That's what I do basically, guys. Okay, even though I kind of have the same kind of level of skills like just now, who actually write Xinjing, or who is it, the drawings, Jiaxin, is it? This drawing is now, who is it? Huh? Zhenxiang there, okay. Okay, Zhenxiang there, okay. My kind of skill when I was like your age, almost like this there, okay. I thought that I can draw, but I know basically I'm actually very hungry about knowledge there, okay, because before basically I formally further my studies to art and design, okay, taking 4 years basically, okay, on this first degree kind of what we call that courses there, okay. I never get a formal education there. I want to go to MIA, I want to go to One Academy. At that time there's no One Academy there, okay. I want to go to, yes, there is a One Academy at that stage, okay, in Singapore, okay. And I want to go to Lim Kok Wing at that time there, okay. But my dad actually told me you should pass your SPM first for the second times, and then we get you into the local kind of universities, right? Okay, the what we call that, the government kind of what we call that, okay? Because at that times, the only way that I want to do some proper kind of learning at that time, okay, for me, okay, is that I know basically, okay, I have to go to the local kind of universities, right? But even though my dad basically at the time can provide me to go to the private kind of institute, but he thought basically I'm going to become a bad boy there, right? At the time, like I'm going to be a wild kind of boy there, right? But no, there, I have my own kind of principle of myself there, right? So when I actually start to taking my second SPM there, right? I start to change the way that I've learned there, right? So I say to myself, I cannot actually write what we call that waste my times anymore, that I can just not focus on my studies there. So when I actually get into the university, okay, to get the formal educations on art and design, which is this is my dream there, okay, I never look back again. Right? I never said, okay, I cannot waste my times, I have to focus more. I have to study and also learn back again, because in my kind of what we call that, I also have a very huge batch, okay, around 100 over or 200 over there, okay, kind of students basically in my batch there, okay. So everyone compete with each other at the times. So if I cannot become the best that I can be for myself, for my versions, I will compete to another those 100 and 200 plus students over there. I think around 100 over there, under 150 over students, right? Okay? I have to compete with all those students there. Okay, so how actually I'm going to compete? Because we cannot choose we can choose basically our majors, because I want to become a fine artist or graphic design, because at that time graphic design there's no multimedia there, right? Okay, multimedia is a part of the elective. But if you want to learn multimedia, you have to become a graphic. You should join basically graphic department there, right? A graphic design department there. Otherwise, you cannot learn multimedia at the times. So the only way that I can actually prove myself, because we have two different interviews. Okay, the first interview whether we can get into the foundations. The second interview after complete our 1 year courses. Then we have to go for the second interview, which means that second interview are going to be the times that can be what we call that make us, okay, they will choose, okay, whether this student are eligible enough to get into graphic department or not, right? So we have to fight basically for it, fight our space there. So I have to practice more and more on my skills. That's why in foundations, when I get all these kind of techniques from my gurus directly, from my lectures directly, I kind of like what we call that I swap every what we call that I suck every kind of what we call that knowledge that I can, like a sponge, and then I practice with more further. Okay, you saw some of the previous kind of exercise drawing that I did for my foundations directly, like comics, like drawings directly. There's a lot basically from it there beyond that, right? I kind of like practice back again myself. It doesn't mean that I didn't socialize, but I didn't actually put my social kind of life above basically my commitment on my works. At that time, no internet, right, guys? No internet, no website, no YouTube there, right? So it kind of like we learn from the classrooms, and we learn also among our friends, right? I saw some of my friends who can draw more better than me, and then I look at them and I go back and I practice the right. So those are the things that I do there, right? To achieve what I want basically here. So same goes to your friend over here. Okay, this is a good start, right? A lot of students basically have sent me some of the what we call that drawings there, okay. But this one basically don't draw. Okay, one of the things, okay, don't draw from other people's drawings, don't draw from other people's paintings, don't draw from what we call that, from other people's characters there. Don't draw from these references. I don't want you guys to use this reference to draw, to learn to draw there, okay? This is not the proper way for you to draw first. you will get your kind of what we call that chances to draw like this when it comes to your project later on, okay? But before you're going to draw anime styles, manga styles, or any American drawing styles, okay? Please don't copy from other people's drawings like this first, okay? You want to do as a part of your practice on your leisure time, go ahead. But for my classroom there, okay, for my subjects, please don't draw first. Okay, please don't draw this kind of what we call that drawing first there, okay? I don't want to hear you guys, okay, ask me the same question, okay, or you want to draw from Mona Lisa there, okay? Don't draw from this reference there first. This is other people's drawings there, guys. You want to draw from here, go ahead. Okay, you want to draw here, go ahead, because this is a photos there, right? But don't draw from other people's drawings there. This is a good kind of poses that you want to draw, but avoid draw some of the details there, okay? So don't be shy basically going to draw women or men, okay? Just draw whatever that you like first, but based on the real photos. Don't draw from other people's drawings like this. Even though it's a good drawings there, it's a good paintings there, guys, okay? But in order for you to learn to draw in a correct way, don't copy from other people's drawings. Simple as that. Even though you can draw in the leisure times, okay, I do those kind of things also, like Marvel kind of comics there, okay? I done all these kind of exercise that you saw before there, okay? Even though you want to draw from Ultraman, whatever that you want to draw here, okay, go ahead, you can draw that, okay, but not for my classes. Don't trace or copy from this kind of comics and provide into your exercise in our class there, okay? But if you can do it for your leisure time, go ahead. Okay, even to practice your drawings like this, by using my methods of drawings, go ahead. But not for the submission first, okay? I want you guys to provide your drawings. Either you draw like this, okay, or you can draw like this one there. See, this one. This is a proper way for you to understand, to study first your hands while you want to draw. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the right way, the right methods basically to improve your drawing skills. Okay, for this week, we are not going to have a proper kind of subjects there, okay? So you guys can choose whatever human figures that you want to draw, but not animals, human there first. Why I choose humans? You can draw yourself if you want to there, okay? But the techniques that I want to show you guys here, okay, the techniques there, okay, that you have to provide when you draw. Let's just say, is it the technique is right, sir? Try first. I have already shown you guys a few ways to work. Why don't you practice that first? And then we're going to do some consultations next week during the lecturing class, maybe there, okay? Or maybe after class, you're going to ask something there, okay? Please provide me some videos there, okay? I'm going to give you guys also all this kind of what we call that. Hopefully I can actually provide more detailed kind of guideline there, okay? Because I have to do some pre-recording also at the same time, okay? Please, but I try to give the best kind of serve for you guys that don't worry there, okay? But all the hard work that I've done hopefully can be paid off by your commitments, right? Because I need also your commitments on providing basically the exercise without delaying your submissions there. Okay, when I actually tell you guys, okay, everyone have to submit what we call that on Sunday, basically, please don't delay your submissions there. If you delay your submissions, you're going to have a back-to-back kind of exercise that you have to do, okay? And the other thing is, guys, okay, some students ask me, okay, whether these 7 marks. Yes, of course, okay. I don't want to waste a lot of time just doing something that don't provide marks from there. I already give you guys also one of the basically the lesson plan there, right? One of the lesson plan there, right? Okay, this one there, okay. This is basically our rubric there, right? And this basically our one of my lesson plan, okay. All the exercise from week 1 until week 15, 40% there, guys. Whatever that you've been working on, okay, from this first exercise and the 15 exercise that we have, okay, maybe less than that, depending that. Basically, are going to be it's all going to be marks directly from there. All right, they're going to be marks from there. So make sure you provide the quality of your exercise. Your quality came from you, not from me. You will actually write when you do a lot of experimentations on your drawing skills, okay, the way that you change, you draw the right, you will basically going to analyze whether you provide the quality of your works or not. Okay, that's basically, you can actually feel them back. Let's just say you draw only 1 or 2 drawings there, okay, and then you feel satisfied with it. Let's just say you just only provide 1 drawing, are not going to be make some changes there, guys. But one of the key point, if you can draw like this, or you can draw like this, you can provide a good quality line like this, that means you're in the right path lah. Simple as that. Learn from what you see there, guys, okay. Use your eye to see things in the correct way. But it will seems you still draw like this, okay. After a few number kind of exercise, not only 1 drawings there, you still draw like this one there, okay. That means you need to improve more. You have to find and search basically from inside, okay, what are the mistakes that I do there, okay. Did I didn't change my mindset to improve, or I'm quite very hard to make those changes for myself? We have to change, right? We have to open up our mind there to change. Okay, it's not that easy, I understand, right? Okay? A lot of people always thought, okay, oh, join multimedia is easy, there no maths, no reading required there, okay. You don't have to do all this kind of what we call that, reading some of the notes. No there, guys. It's going to be really hard if you don't actually focus on the changes. Okay, any questions there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How to adjust the reference size in ES?
Oh,
I don't know how.
okay.
What click?
If you want to use Photoshop, okay, to change the size, simple step, okay. Either you actually write, okay, first of all, when you paste the right, okay, you know how to paste it, right?
Yes.
You can use, okay, because I always use basically my shortcut key that works, but normally we can use transform, okay, scale, okay, transform scale, and then if you want to scale, don't scale like this, huh?
Okay.
Right, okay. Click shift on your keyboard and then scale. Shift. Click shift on your keyboard and then move to scale and then move over there, okay. Like this. When you're done, off the shifter, okay, release the shift and then you actually can move around there, right? Okay. All right. When basically you move the cursor, right, okay, black cursor, that means you can actually, right, do some selection and move around there, okay. Don't scale your picture like this one. This is not the proper way there, okay. This is going to be distort there, right, okay. Don't distort your images there. All right.
Okay.
So if you're done, click enter. But this one is distorted, right? So I control, alternate and Z just to undo back again. Okay. So that's basically one of the basic. You're going to learn also from image manipulation subject, okay, all these kind of tools there. So remember the tools there first. And then we're going to work a lot on that. Okay, don't worry that Photoshop applications, computers, you will catch up a bit more faster. Okay, but the things that we actually have to be worried. Okay, how actually you're going to use your hand, not just to use the mouse there to click there. Okay, but use the tablet there to draw. Okay, use mouse. It's not that hard. Okay, use tablets here. It's really hard if you don't actually practice the right way to draw, to control the brush as well. Any question there, guys, before we dismiss?
Yes.
Yes, can we?
How to draw teeth? Like, because when I can draw mouth, but when I try to draw the teeth, the
Okay.
teeth doesn't follow up the mouth. Sometimes.
Like that, right? So let's just say we want to draw teeth directly, like this one directly. Normally when we draw those teeth, okay, when you draw the mouth at first, okay, when you draw the mouth, let's just say you draw the mouth over here. Draw the line works first on the mouth directly, see? When I control my hands there to draw directly. And then the teeth itself, okay, don't draw like this. Okay? Draw the line work, the outline there, okay? The shapes, the line that shapes there, right? Not the outline. The line that shapes basically the teeth there, right? See? I kind of like control basically the line work from there. See? But I'm not trying to combine the lower lips and the upper lips, kind of what we call that a borderline, because if you actually combine them, they become a little bit kind of like you paste the lips into the faces there. See, the teeth itself, they're becoming like this, and then you can render a little bit there, right? Okay? Shades a little bit there, right? Okay? Because drawing and also photos a bit different, right? Okay? When you learn drawing for the first time, right? Okay? You must be able to provide the quality of line, the thickness, the shadings there, the tone, the value of those lines there first. Same goes to the nose. People always draw like this one sometimes. Right? It's not the right way there to draw. The nose came from 1 circles, 2 circles, 3 circles there. This is the thing that we're going to go into details there, okay? But if you want to draw from here directly, first of all, this is the one directly. When you use Photoshop, when you use this kind of device, it will be more easy for you to draw directly. See, this is one of the way. Not the only way, guys, but one of the way for you guys to practice your drawings here, to draw nose. Same goes to the eyes. Don't combine the eyes together like this. Okay, styles of illustrations, yes, but when you draw the eyes, see the line work first, where the shapes are going to be provided here, right? See, the pupil, the iris, and render them back. Okay, just like using pencils there, right? When I draw, but traditionally I'm using Photoshop directly to work. See some of the details there, okay, on the line. Okay, even though I didn't actually have the reference, if I want to draw those eyes there, right? How actually, right? What we call that? Draw the eyes without reference. There. How I am going to draw the eyebrow there, the shapes of the eyebrow first, and then I'm going to provide the line work for those, the hairlines of the eyebrows there, see? Same thing that I'm going to use when I draw using those pencils or pen there, okay? This is all this kind of exercise I'm going to provide. Hopefully I have those what we call that enough kind of what we call that time for me to record all these kind of sessions back here, because I really want to do all these kind of things for quite some time there, okay, but the schedules that I have sometimes, okay, I have to rush over to some of the subjects, okay, that I have before this. But I want to do it for a long run, because not only for your classes, for the public at the same time there, okay, just to show people how to draw basically in the right way. See how detailed we can do if we know how to control the pressures well there, guys. Okay, without reference, I didn't use reference just now, right? But this is basically the value there, okay, that you actually have to develop, okay, on your skills before you're going to design any manga styles, anime styles that you want, because the discipline of those work that you're going to provide, okay, on the skills is the same. You draw manga, you draw anime, you draw any kind of characters there, okay, the discipline of handling the tools are the same. Only basically the quality of drawings are going to be different there. This is basically a bit more like realistics, but manga a bit more like cartoons there, right? Okay, but the way that you provide those styles are going to be the same. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, okay, these sessions will open up more and more in your mind, because I want to have basically the students can gain more kind of exposures from there, right? Okay, more exposures from there, okay. I have to bring on there, right? So hopefully all this kind of what we call that the experience that you can gain, okay, from now on will make you guys change from the new persons that were, okay, especially to increase more on your understanding there. All right, that's basically the value that you have to create, each one of you guys there, okay, to work on that. And of course, prepare your sketchbooks and practice your hands all the time there, okay. Don't just practice once a week, but if you want to improve, you should practice every day. All right, you should practice every day there, okay. That's basically the tips that I can give you guys there, okay. So spend times to practice your hands draw. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I will leave you guys a bit, right, okay, hold you guys, okay, for these sessions, okay, to end up, right, okay, because I don't know what you guys, you're going to have some other sessions later on, but I'm going to have another 2 classes there, okay, around 12 o'clock, and then continue back again around 2:30 until 4:30 there, okay. So if you have any kind of questions, just leave it on the website there, okay. And for some of you guys who actually doesn't actually provide your names, okay, for your groups, okay, please what we call that, message me back again, and because I want to make groups, okay, and we can actually share your videos, okay, your own videos, okay. If you can provide your own demonstrations, okay, a few seconds, okay, so this is how actually I draw, is it right? So we can actually see whether your drawing is right or not from there. Or if you don't want to explain also, you just draw something there, okay, using your kind of reference, then we can see whether you're holding your pen or your pencil in the right way or not in the right, okay. So that's very important, okay, for us to have the right kind of what we call that interactions here, okay. So that's it there, okay. So hopefully you guys enjoy the process over here. All right, I please apologize, okay, if we have some of the technical issue. This is something that I also try to improve from time to time there, okay. I try to experiment with different kind of device that works there, okay. To make sure that I can provide a very good kind of efficient kind of what we call that live session with my students there. Alright, so thank you very much guys, okay, for having me today, and enjoy your sessions over here and enjoy your process of working, and I see you guys next week, and don't forget to submit. And also I'm going to provide also some video, the thing that I want to do yesterday, but I'm busy with those paperwork there, right, okay, is I want to provide how to submit your video, your submissions there. But basically it's quite easy there, okay. You just go to basically your classrooms, all right. So This one basically there, right? So someone actually have turned in here. So it's a good thing, right? This is one of the way that you guys can produce. Okay, this is Amber, okay? Amber, I don't know from which group, or group 5. Alright, Amber actually provide some drawings over here, some reference at the same time, okay? There's a lot of things that Amber have to be worked later on, alright? Because this is basically, she actually has a problem to draw in the right way. So hopefully she can improve from day 1 until week 13 there, right? Okay, this is one of the good example how to send over your drawing there, guys. Okay, how to present your drawing, how to basically to submit your drawings there using those PowerPoint or Google kind of what we call a slide there, right? Okay, this is one of the samples that you use to work. So I think most these 4 students actually provide me a PDF format. Is it good? All right. Is from group 1, all right? Chai Ming Hao, all right? Chai Ming Hao also have a difficulty to understand, but this is the level of skill, because the first week exercise that I want to evaluate will based on your level of skill that you can provide. Okay, this is Esther, right? That you can provide first. I want to see your level of skills there first. There's no such thing as right, do or wrong here. I think Esther can draw there, okay? Has the skill, but the understanding, the knowledge of understanding were not there yet. But can draw there, okay? She can draw there, okay? So this is what I want to see there, okay? Your level of understanding there first. So submit your files, your works using PDF. Right, if you don't like this one, like this guy Kai Jin, maybe he doesn't have those what we call that, the PowerPoint there, okay? You can shoot your photos and just send it over like this. But if you have PowerPoint there, guys, please provide PowerPoint. This is, I think, reference there. Okay, this is reference there, okay? But don't use those reference there, okay, to draw. Okay, now see, it's not the right way there, okay, to draw like this one. Don't draw from other people's drawings like this, guys, okay? Please don't use this reference for you guys to draw back again. Okay? Okay, this one can be used, okay, to draw. This is, I think, his own photos there, right? Huh? This is one of his own photos there. So I'm going to download this one. Maybe I'm going to use later on again. Kaijin there, right? Okay, use this reference. Okay, this one also can be used reference too. Okay, see? This is a common mistake that people do there. Okay, but at least he tried it. He tried hard enough to change the way he draw. Okay, it's a good try there, guys. So thank you very much, and good luck with your exercise here. I see you guys next week. All right, and be safe and all the best, guys. Okay, thank you. Bye. So what name should we put on the assign? This is not assignments there. This is exercise there. Week 1 exercise there. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome there. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay. All the best. All right. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
is the if my home my exercise some I cannot find back the reference picture. What should I do?
You cannot find back again the pictures.
Yeah.
How come you cannot find back again? It's on the Google there, right?
I don't know how, but it's like I find I was drawing into my my reference picture.
Hmm?
I found it, and I finished the drawing.
Hmm?
But my Google has left. I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out, and then when I go inside the Google again, but my picture is gone. I'm going back to my research.
Go search back again lah. Let's just say
yeah.
what photos that you actually draw there, right? Lin Chong Wei.
Yes. So
I don't think that you can find a lot here, there, right?
Yeah,
So let's just say you.
there's a lot of picture.
Okay,
I cannot find right.
when you get right, okay, just save there, right? Save first. Alright? Save first there, okay? Come on lah, right, okay? Everyone can see that, okay? You can find it, right? Huh?
Yeah,
Right.
I
This
don't
is the
know.
funny one, okay? But it's not that quite clear there, guys, okay? Try to find, like this one there just now, okay? This is also quite, not quite clear, but it's can good. It's a very good kind of photos, okay, of actions that you want to use there, okay, to work. Okay, one of the things that I have find harder right now, because if you saw, okay, some of my demonstration that I use, right, okay, I'm using all of the old photos there, because yeah, nowadays I don't have those kind of magazine that actually have those human faces anymore, okay, because most of the magazine that I have throw away, okay. I only keep some of the art books there, okay. So I don't want to use an art books to use as a part of reference for my demonstrations. So that's why I'm using a lot of my old photos there, okay, to provide, okay. But if I'm working with the digitals, yes, we can actually have a lot of reference over here. But it's kind of hard for me to use reference, look at the screen, and then I'm going to do those demonstrations there, right? So that's why, yeah, it's quite difficult also sometimes for me. But for you, there, okay, if you want to use this reference and then you draw back again, I don't think this is it's quite difficult. So you just save your files there, okay. You have some of the reference that you can get from here. For example, here, right? Just save the files there, okay. Save the files back again, something like this. Okay. Alright. Alright. Don't worry there, okay. Then when you save your files over there, then you can open up back again. Right. Simple as this. Right. Then you can actually use, for example, let's just say, where is it here, right? This one, you put into those, what we call that, see? This picture view, then you can actually draw. Okay, you keep into your folders there first. So try to organize your folders there. Alright? Okay, guys? Okay. Anyone have any questions? Because I have a class around 12 o'clock. Yes, Nathaniel?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering, you did an assignment where you have to draw 5 figure drawings, right?
For this week only, they right? For this week. But you want to draw more? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, do we have a choice of drawing just a figure drawing, or do we have to use like line drawing, the continuous line technique to draw one?
You can actually try, because right now, I already show you guys the methods there, right?
Yes.
So that means why you have to waste your time to not to follow back again what I actually have taught, right?
Okay.
So the best way for you to try, okay? Don't limit yourself there, guys, okay? Whatever that you guys learn from the classes, don't limit yourself. If you limit yourself, you will find a lot of restriction later on. Just expand your creativities, expand your kind of explorations in your, okay? There's no one going to chase you out. No police is going to be arrest you, all right? No, what we call that, gangsters are going to be, what we call that, threat you basically, okay? Because you practice your drawings here. So use whatever it takes for you to improve there, guys. Okay, don't wait there. If you wait, you will lose your confidence back again, because we want to build up this confidence there. Okay, Nathaniel and the rest of you guys. So thank you very much. I have to set up another sessions for group 7, if I'm not mistaken, there.
Teacher, one more question.
Yes, Shen Hui?
Can I know if I draw only hands and body, but can that consider full body?
That's a half body, right?
Oh,
The full body basically from head to toe there, right? There's a full figures there. Half figures body basically are going to be around belly into top there, right? Okay. Right? But you can actually mix them up if you want to. Right? I don't want to. I want the only thing that I want to give you guys more what we call that freedom is, you have asked you guys to draw full figures or figure drawings, right? Or human figure drawing. You can choose, right? full figures or not full figures. And I don't know why I actually asked this question. Maybe you're afraid to draw full figures, I don't know, or maybe you don't have a confidence that it works. Don't worry guys, just draw them, right? Okay, make mistakes, this is a part of it. Okay, allow yourself to make mistakes when you draw, but learn also from there. Okay, learn back again from there. Okay, so I tried for 1.5 or 2 years, okay, when I just talk to the cameras, okay, I try to look at the camera, but sometimes I just look at the screen there, okay. So because well, I try to get used to it there, okay. But so guys, okay, if you really want to improve, don't be afraid and allow you to make mistakes, because I do a lot of mistake when I draw, so I'm good with it. Okay, so don't limit yourself, don't block yourself, okay, from making those mistakes. Okay? People always make mistakes all the time. We are not perfect, right? Okay, so that means you want to be good at what you do, you have to allow to make mistakes there. All right, otherwise you won't be able to get it right. Okay guys, that's the things that we have to the lessons that we have to be always concerned about our journey there. Okay, people will make mistakes, we are going to make mistakes, yes, a lot, and no worries about that. Okay, but learn from there from time to time. Okay, learn to solve them back there. Okay, that's basically one of the key point also that you have to we have to be what we call that concern there. Okay, if you're not actually want to make mistakes, if you find out, okay, I think I want to have perfect, okay, and there's some basically person always say that, okay, oh, people always expect me to do some perfect thing here. Come on, okay, nobody perfect there, guys. Okay, even though some people say I all want to do some perfection, okay, hey, you never reach the perfections in your life. There's a BS thing there, okay. There's no one can be perfect there, okay. They always have a flawless there, okay. You saw rich people who drive sport car, for example, have a big house. They always have a flawless over there. You saw a lot of the K-pop guy there, okay, the celebrity, okay, look perfect very much, okay. If you look into the backstory of this kind of celebrities, okay, there's a lot of people actually killing themselves there, okay, depressions, they're satisfied with, they don't happy there, okay. Things happens there, guys, okay. So allow us to make mistakes for us to improve, not to make worse. All right, try to be allowed to make mistakes because we want to improve from step by step. We have to improve our lifestyle there, okay. That's the things there right now. Okay guys, okay, so don't worry too much there. So thank you guys, okay, have a nice day. I enjoy myself over here, even though we have a bit kind of technical kind of issues, okay, but I really enjoy sharing my session with you guys there, okay. So good luck you guys with the exercise, and see you guys later on, okay. Bye bye. Okay, bye. Is anyone from group 7 actually entered? No, right?